So this is a little maths blast about negative numbers, and specifically adding, taking away, timesing and dividing with negative numbers. So it assumes that you already know about ordering negative numbers and the sequence of negative numbers, so moving below zero, and the fact that the lower down the number line you get, remember I always do negative numbers with a vertical number line, the lower down you go, the smaller the number gets. So you can order and compare negative numbers already. Then we have to start adding them up and taking them away. Most of the time this is put into real life situations using temperature, and you might say that, well, if it's -5 degrees one night and then the next night it gets 7 degrees warmer than that, what is the temperature? You're going to have to use your adding up and your taking away skills using negative numbers. But it can be a little bit confusing because two minuses make a positive, and if you add a negative number, what are you doing? Are you adding or taking away? So I just want to get this really, really clear for you using these examples. Okay, so what I've done is I've written out some sums here, all using the same numbers, okay, just to prove to you what happens. And I've put brackets around these second numbers simply because then it sets them apart from the other number. Now, you would never usually write 3 add plus 2. You would just write 3 plus 2. But I'm showing you this because if you add a positive number, you are literally just adding the two numbers together and you get a positive answer. 3 plus 2 is 5. But if you have 3 and you take away a negative number, so the signs are the same, we're taking away a negative number, those two negative signs, you might have seen this from your teacher, those two minus signs merge together and make a positive sign. Okay, so if you have a 3 take away -2, we have 3 plus 2 is what that means. You're actually adding it on. And the reason that works is because imagine if you're taking away a minus number, then that number's going to go up, isn't it? Because you're taking away a minus number. Sometimes I think of hot and cold air, and hot air are the positive numbers, cold air is the negative numbers. If you take away cold air, negative numbers, then the temperature is going to rise. If you add cold air, you add negative numbers, the temperature is going to go down. Okay, so these two, the signs are the same. Can you see that? 2 positives, 2 negatives, we get a positive. Okay, so if the signs are the same, you get a positive. You add them together. But if we have 3 and we have to add -2, the signs are different, we get a minus sign in our sum. And if it's the other way around, if we have to take away a positive number, we get a minus sign in our sum as well. So you can think of them together like that, that if the signs are the same, we get a positive. And if the signs are different, we get a negative. Okay, that's adding up and taking away. What happens when we times and divide negative numbers? Well, it's not too different actually, but I shall show you them. Show you a couple of examples of those. Okay, so let's do 3 times 5. 3 times 5 equals 15. 3 times -5 equals -15, because we've got 3 lots of -5. So if you have -5 and you add on -5, that would be -10. Adding on another -5 would be -15. So we've got 3 lots of -5, which is -15. Now, if we do 15 divided by 5, that would equal 3. But if we had 15 divided by -5, that would equal -3. Okay? Got it? Good. What would happen if we had both of them are minus signs? So if we have wrong color, if we have -5 and we need to times it by -3, so remember, if the signs are the same, they turn into a positive. So -5 times -3 is also 15. Okay, and I'll write this in just so that you can see them together. 5 times 3 is 15. So if the signs are the same, you end up with a positive. If the signs are different, minus 5 times 3 equals minus 15, and 5 times minus 3 equals minus 15. Okay, so those are those little family, how that all works together. And the division is exactly the same. So I showed you two in the first example. So if we turn this around and say minus 15 divided by minus 5 equals minus 15 divided by minus 5, two negative numbers together make a positive. Remember those two negative numbers? They go together to make a positive. So you end up with 3. And if you have minus 15 divided by 5, I think that's the one I did on the last board, wasn't it? Minus 15 divided by 5, because their signs are different, you end up with a negative number, minus 3. Okay, so that works with whichever numbers you're doing. If the signs are the same, then you add them, even if they're two negatives. And if the signs are different, then it comes out, it turns into a negative, a takeaway sum. Okay, I really hope that helps, and let me know how you get on in the comments, and I shall see you at the next Maths Blast. Well done for doing it. Bye.